How good is Arsenal's new signing Martin Odegaard? For cheap, good quality football jerseys, go over to www.jerseyfever.com. A link will be left in the description, and if you use a code atlantisfootball, you'll get 5% off. In this video, I will break down why Odegaard is a different sort of playmaker to the likes of Mesut Ozil, what type of player he is stylistically, analyse how good he actually is using statistics, before I talk about how he'd fit into Arteta's side tactically, and whether he is in fact a good signing for Arsenal and what they needed. So Arsenal have signed Odegaard on loan till the end of the season from Real Madrid, with the loan fee being around £1.8 million and his wages being just under £40,000 per week, which is great value for money. Odegaard has just turned 22 and will have just 2 years left on his Real Madrid contract at the end of the season. He has also barely featured for Real this season, completing just 223 minutes in La Liga, so Arsenal could get him on a permanent deal in the summer for probably around £30 million. Before I get into the analysis, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and after this video, check out the first episode of my series looking at how Arsenal Fan TV became the biggest fan channel on YouTube. That video, along with some others, will be linked in the description below and in the eye above. So what sort of player is Odegaard? Well, I'd describe him as a modern advanced playmaker. We've seen players like Ozil and Juan Mata drop off significantly as the game has moved into the late 2010s and now into the 2020s. This was because both of these players could only really function when playing as a central attacking midfielder. Both did get moved around in different systems, but fundamentally, to get the best out of them, they needed to be playing in a midfield three with a double pivot behind them, as they didn't have the dynamism to play out wide really in terms of their dribbling at pace or pressing abilities, and therefore it always felt that they had to be shoehorned into these positions. As modern tactics have developed, the majority of sides now defend the space between their centre-backs and central midfield very well, which closed up this space for the traditional number 10, centrally advanced playmaker, a ganche, whatever you want to call them. This saw the rise of the 3-8, the advanced playmaker who would play a little deeper as a central midfielder in a midfield three, but would be given a license to push up into advanced positions in the half spaces. Players like Kevin De Bruyne, David Silva, Julian Brandt and James Maddison are examples of players who would have been traditional number 10s in the early 2010s, but have been able to adapt to these 3-8 tactical roles. Ozil, for a few reasons which I may do a video on in the future, was not able to do this and so didn't suit the modern style of play with aggressive pressing and versatile positioning. Odegaard, however, is exactly what I would describe as a modern playmaker. He can play from either of the two flanks as a wide playmaker in a 4-3-3, say, moving infield into narrow positions, as an Eden Hazard type of player, as he was deployed at Real Madrid, and where his role on the side lies if he goes back to Zidane's side at the end of the season. He could also play ahead of a double pivot in a 4-2-3-1 like Bruno Fernandes, or he could also play as a number 8 in a 4-3-3 shape like Kevin De Bruyne, which is the exact versatility that Arteta needs. Odegaard is a very good dribbler, able to float past players in central positions using his fluid body movements and close ball control. See here the pass goes into him in the centre of the field. As he receives the ball, he feints a turn to his right, dragging the central midfielder over to that side before quickly spinning round to his left of the ball and driving away from the player. This is extremely valuable, as just by doing this, Odegaard has enabled his side to progress the ball from the middle to the final third. This dribbling ability can be seen as last season for Sociedad, he completed 2.2 dribbles per 90, the 29th most of any player in La Liga, and more than the likes of Suso and Ansu Fati. In the final third, Odegaard is a fantastic creator of chances, as in my opinion his vision and passing ability is miles ahead of anyone in the Arsenal side at the minute. He's very good at floating between the lines of the opposition system in order to receive the ball. We see here against Alaves that he does exactly this. He receives the ball and nutmegs the Alaves midfielder after receiving the ball, and has the incredible vision to see Oyarzábal's run on the far side and the technique to drive a low pass, splitting the back line to find his run and create a goal. Is this creativity in terms of vision and ways of pass around the box that Arsenal have desperately missed without Ozil in the side? This can be seen as in La Liga last season, Odegaard completed the 7th most key passes of any player with 2.2 per 90 and ranking in 9th in terms of expected assists with 0.24 per 90, a higher rate than the likes of Toni Kroos, Vinicius Jr and Ferran Torres. So I've analysed how good I think Odegaard is, but where would he fit into Arteta's system? Well, I'd say Odegaard's best position is as an advanced central midfielder in a 3-8 kind of role in a 3-man central midfield. This is because in this role he can be given a license to move up the field into the half spaces and the wide positions on the right, where he can then move inside onto his left foot and create. He'd also be given the freedom to drop deep when needed, which he can also do as he has a vision to play incisive passes into players between the lines or long passes from deep to switch to play. We have seen Arteta use Emil Smith-Rowe in this kind of role ahead of a double pivot, and Odegaard would slot in perfectly here and would be an instant upgrade. In my analysis of Arsenal's game against Crystal Palace, which will be linked in the description below and above, I talked about Smith-Rowe and Saka moving into these half spaces between the lines of the opposition system, and Odegaard would definitely suit this role as well, as he could play from either flank in a 4-2-3-1 with Smith-Rowe playing as a central attacking midfielder, moving inside into these positions, so Odegaard's versatility will give Arteta a lot more options. He suits Arteta's style of play a lot more than Ozil did. He is capable of playing in a high pressing system if Arteta wants to deploy this sort of tactic, whereas Ozil was a liability when asked to perform this role. Odegaard's dynamism and versatility will also make him an improvement on Ozil, who I felt needed the system to be created around him, and if it wasn't, he'd often drift through games unable to have an impact on them. So overall, I do think that Odegaard is a fantastic signing for Arsenal and will solve a lot of their chance creation issues. As he's only on loan for half a season, it may be hard to fully see how good he is, but I do think over the next few seasons, Odegaard will prove to be one of the best advanced playmakers in the world, which is why Arsenal, along with a number of clubs in the summer, should be looking to sign him permanently. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed that video, remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, give the video a like and check out some of my other videos which will be linked in the description below. Also follow me on my other social media accounts as well for more content.